All right, so we'll get right into it. This is our in-ear setup for Sunday services and Wednesdays as well. So we use the Behringer HA400 4-channel micro amp. First things first, power supply is very important. Next thing, you have to check for the input cable. I'll show you guys briefly where that is connected to in our audio link. Next is the in-ear extensions. You have to extend the cables so that your in-ear monitors, can be connected to the micro amp. This is my drum in-ear extension. We have three more channels which we use currently to supply for the bassist, the lead keyboardist, and the auxiliary keyboardist. So I'll briefly show you guys where we connect or where we get our inputs from. Our inputs from our sound engineer, I don't know the technicalities, but from our sound engineer, it's connected to channel B. Next, we have our talkback setup. Basically, it can either be the keyboardist controlling it or it could be me, depending. Um, and we connect it to, I think this is channel 13. So this is a quick word from our sound engineer. Let's have it.
Monitors. Okay. These guys have to leave here. Please leave this place, all of you. Come on here, come over here. Enoch, now maybe ask you where you stay behind. Please don't stay behind again. Come, they go. Oh, they go. Yeah, I don't want to see my face for any meal. Okay, one more time.
Just start from there. We'll cut down to one and then maybe.
So, now, to activate it, that was your question, Abi. So, first of all, you have to make sure there's power in the. Okay, this is a pick my voice, I don't know. First of all, you have to make sure that there's power in the micro amp. So, we are using this Behringer micro amp, 4-channel with one input for the in-ear system. So once there's power in the micro amp, then definitely the sound coming from the mixer will come into your ear. So now for my mixer setup for the in-ear, I have a Boss. Here, which is my Boss 6, that receives from my individual input channels into the Boss on prefaders. So I'm sending it via as prefaders into that Boss 6. So that Boss 6 now is now routed to an output from this mixer that's now sent into the micro amp. So now these channels that are running prefader into that Boss 6 now is now the degree to which I push it up is the degree to which they will hear in their ear. So, degree, I don't think degree is a right language.
The extent.
So, yes. So, how many decibels I'm sending into the Boss 6 would determine how loud each of the elements of the mix will be in that particular Boss. So for the Boss 6, so I'll just show you how I'm sending that. So this is my Boss 6 when I click my send on faders. So, now Boss 6 I select. I don't see. So I'll just show you what I did on my Boss 6. So this is my Boss 6. So I'm sending some instruments into the Boss 6. So these are the voices These are the vocals now. So I'm sending, this is the lead vocal. So if you see from the lead vocals, the lead vocal is majorly the loudest, not the loud, is the loudest vocal on that in ear because they need more of the lead vocal to be able to follow. Then this is the loop channel. So the loop channel, which is the major, which is more like a click track for the instrumentalist to follow. So this loop channel now is what sends, it's way much more louder on that in ear, so that they will be able to be on time when they are playing with a loop or a click track or whatever they are playing with. So now you have a little bit of the pastor's mics and not so much of the BGVs. So then you have the keyboards and bass guitars and others sent also into the bus, not so loud. Then for the drums, I sense the drums as the general boss of the drums into the in ear, so that in that way I don't, because I discovered that the in ear reacts, it has a way of being distorted when you send the drum channels individually, and then they don't really hear the drums well. So I decided to send the drum bus, that's sending it back to the aux, and then from the aux sending it into the mix bus. So in that way they have the general mix, my general mix down of the drum room in that in-ear channel. So basically that's all. So then I just have a little reverb sent into that place. So basically that's my in-ear routing for my daily Sunday and Wednesday services.
Okay, so now that we know we're sending it from, because the micro amp feeds 4 people, but it's only from one channel. So how do you, as a sound engineer, aside the instrumentalists agreeing upon what they want to hear, but how do you, as a sound engineer, filter what's the best placement of sounds, or what's the best placement for volumes for the individual instruments, so that everybody can be satisfied?
Okay, yes. Coming to how to satisfy each person now, because we don't have a P16 or a type of in-ear system where they can have their individual mixes, where each person's instruments can be louder for him and others beneath him. So in that way, you have to find a way to balance everyone on that bus, so that there will be a level of balance that no one is louder than each other. So first of all, your gain levels will play a lot of role in that. Your gain levels has to be precise to play a lot of role in that. So once your gain levels are correct, then you use your send-on faders to now regulate how much sound that comes into that bus. So seeing that it's only 4 channel outputs that the micro amp has, and it's only 4 instrumentalists that can use it. So the people that use it is the main keyboardist, the aux, the drummer, and the bassist. So because the lead guitarist here is not always present, so it's more of the 2 keyboardists, drummer, and the bassist. So in that way, I just find a way to find a balance between the 2 keyboardists. When I find a balance between the 2 keyboardists, then the bass guitar, I send the bass guitar not so loud into it to avoid distortion. So I just send the bass guitar a little bit, because he also has a personal monitor there. Then, like I said, I send the drums from each bus straight into the in-ear to also avoid distortion. So I send the drum mix down into the in-ear. So in that way, you see that everybody is balanced. So because of that, whatever changes I'm making on the drum that's live on my channels, both for front of house and it is also reflecting in their in-ear, because considering the fact that they are all using one input, and they can't have their volumes separately louder than each other. They can't have their separate mixes. So you have to have more of the percussion to be a bit more on top of the others, so that because of the percussion is what now controls the timing. because of that timing issue, so that they don't go off time. How you should have more of the loop and the drums. This is not what this is just a personal concept I use, not because it's a general opinion or is a standard. It's not a standard. This is how I do it with my band. So other people have different ways they do theirs. So, but for me, I focus more on them having the percussion clear enough in their ears so that they don't go off timing. Then the melody lines can now come in. So then you now have a little bit of the voices and the rest come in, saxophone and the rest. So, but those who use the in-ear, I make them to be satisfied in their ear so that in that way, things like the saxophone and the rest can now have more volume on the monitors on ground, since they don't have their own personal ear monitors. So that's basically it.
If there's one thing I've noticed about your mix now is how crisp and clear the bass guitar is.
May they not catch me.
Is how clear the bass guitar is on the in-ear. Because from my position is the farthest from the bass. But even at that position, I can hear the bass clear enough, but it's not too low where it's now muddy, but it's not still too bright where I can now hear the essence of the bass guitar. So how do you achieve that particular?
Yeah, so like I said initially, your preamps will play a major role in that. By preamps, I mean your gain levels. It will play a major role in that. So once you have your gain level set accurately, once your gain level is set accurately, it's set at a point where you are not getting distortion from that line. And considering the fact that the bass guitar also has its personal monitor, so in that way it doesn't push so much volume that makes his bass guitar distort. So then you set a good gain level. Then you set a good EQ line and a good compression on that bass line. So like I said, I'm sending pre-fader into that in-ear bus. So because I'm sending pre-fader, all my processing, all the processing I do comes before that fader. So when it gets into the in-ear bus, it also comes with those processing I did, because you could see some in-ear systems where they are sending pre-EQ or so, but I send pre-fader. So some could decide to send pre-EQ. I don't know. It's not a standard, but personally I do pre-fader. So in that way, all my processing, both the compression, the gates, and the EQ also reflects on the in-ear. So by the time I'm done setting my gain levels and my compression and my EQ, and then maybe because my EQ, I made my bass guitar EQ in a way that you have more of a perceived loudness on that line. So I boosted more of the area where it is active, so that in that way, without boosting so much volume on the fader, you have enough loudness in your ear. Why? Because those active areas of the bass has been boosted. So that's basically it.
So one final question before why have you been adamant that as a drummer I cannot be able to have my own talk back?
Why you can't have your own talk back?
Yes, I've been telling you for months now.
Because it's my mix and it's my rules.
Thank you guys. That's it. But thank you so much. So can you do a quick introduction? Let my audience know who you are.
Yeah, so I'm popular known as Gabby, but more or less call me Gabriel. Yeah. No, sorry, I'm Gabriel, but they call me Gabby. They call me Gabby more often. So I'm an architect and a sound engineer. So I've learned from a lot of sources. I've had 1 or 2 online courses from Berklee College of Music on sound engineering. Few close learning from other senior sound engineers who are also around me. And with my little years of experience, I've been doing the little I can while God is helping me. So, amen. Amen. Pray.
Hallelujah! Engineers around you.
Like Enoch.
Yes.
I will stop this thing.